Glacier 3 The Meltdown. Dear oh dearie me. How can I describe this game? Well, it's a racing game which was developed by a company called Team 6, no relation to Team 17, and released in 2010 on Wii and PC, and only got a Steam release in 2014 as far as I can recall. But exactly how it managed to do this is a mystery to me, as we are about to see in this review. First off, let's have a look at the game's very short plot, here quoted directly from the Steam store page.
Since the press discovered multi-billionaire Bob Slayer's best-kept secret, the illegal Glacier racers, there are more applications than ever before for this deadly, crazy race. New contenders have entered the race. Their vehicles are faster, stronger, and equipped with new, experimental kind of weapons. Each contender believes that their car is best equipped and will lead them to victory and an unthinkable amount of prize money.
Okay, aside from the glaring grammatical errors, first criticism right here. If these races are illegal and the press has gotten wind of them, then why is this Bob Slayer type being allowed to continue them? Why have the police not gotten involved? It's very difficult to hide the sound of great big cars driving around with their loud engines, let alone weapons. Have they learned nothing from Mad Max? But nevertheless, it doesn't really matter that much because the plot is not referenced in any way in the game itself. It's there solely to provide the flimsiest of context for why you're driving around like a lunatic on mountains, inside volcanoes, pretty much everywhere except glaciers. Great going, Team 6, make a game called Glacier 3 in which you take part in supposedly illegal glacier races which don't take place on glaciers. Admittedly, I know a thing or two about real-life glaciers and know that it will be hard to hold a race on one, but come on, Team 6! You're allowed to take creative liberties. Borderlands 2 had entire flipping cities built on glaciers! Anyway, the title and plot are confusing enough, but the gameplay is even worse. The Steam description says the game boasts 8 powerful cars, which seems to me to be a total lie, because I can only find 3, all of which seem to play almost identically. The deceptive number of vehicles is one thing, but it's when you get into the game proper that the stench really hits you. For starters, the controls are abysmal. The game gives you no tutorial, so you have to figure out what the controls are for yourself, which is quite a challenge when a game has no control support of any kind. Well, alright, it wasn't difficult to figure out that the steering, acceleration and braking reversing were all done with the arrow buttons as they probably should do, but it was only after much experimentation that I discovered that shift is boost, and your car has 3 weapons, which are fired with the control, alt and space keys. I don't know about you, but since when was alt a suitable key for power-ups? Oh, and as for the experimental weapons you use, they include but are not limited to such amazing feats of technology as the bog-standard rocket launcher, the bog-standard mine, and the bog-standard machine gun. Again, I don't know about you, but they don't sound very experimental to me. So we've established that the controls are confusing, but how do they actually hold up in practice once you've learned them? The answer to that question would be just as abysmally as they are explained. Trying to turn usually results in you violently swerving in your intended turning direction with the force of an antelope who is in desperate need of the lavatory. This is not helped by the fact that the camera is so close to the car that you can't see where the heck you're going, where the heck you're supposed to be going, or for that matter what the heck is going on at all on the hideously laid out courses which you're left to navigate with the world's worst minimap. Maybe this is why the races are illegal, because you can hardly control the cars used in them. Or perhaps because the cars don't have drivers at all. Yep, Team 6 just could not be bothered to put driver models in any of the cars. Remember that this game was made in 2010, so this is probably just inexcusable laziness on the developer's part. Now you might be wondering why over the course of this video I haven't played you any of the game's soundtrack. This is because the music is loud, obnoxious and really forgettable, so I decided that I wouldn't subject you to that and the game's graphics, which as you can probably see from these videos are muddy and horrible. Being that this is a PC game, you'd expect there to be some graphic options, but no, there are none. So, you're stuck with an ugly looking game which you can't run in any resolution other than 1280 by 768, or at least in my experience. All in all, it should now be suffice to say that Glacier 3 is an absolute travesty of a racing game which has literally no redeeming factors at all. The controls are bewildering, the graphics are horrid, the plot serves no purpose whatsoever, the music's not particularly pleasant to listen to, and all things considered, the game's just not fun. It isn't worth a penny of the £6.99 it's priced at on Steam, so I should be glad that I got this game for free thanks to Indie Gala. But in all honesty, free or not, I wouldn't play this game at all, even if they did give me an unthinkable amount of prize money.